Now, even as we are speaking, search operations are underway in Poonch a day after a terror attack took place. In a major terror attack, terrorists ambushed an army convoy that was carrying troops in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri area. There was a fierce encounter that broke out on the 21st of December, and after that, a joint search operation was launched by the security forces. Mobile internet services have been suspended in both Rajouri as well as Poonch area. 4 army personnel have been killed in action, while 3 others have been injured. Now, this terror attack is a part of Pakistan-China plan to divert India from the Ladakh matter. Security personnel carried out a search operation in the dense forest of Dera Ki Gali in Rajouri. The Indian Army has deployed choppers to keep an eagle's eye on the tough terrain and also making sure that choppers are used to hunt down the terrorists. In fact, the security forces have now mounted a massive counter-operation in the south of Pir Panjal after 4 soldiers were killed in action and 3 others have been critically injured. Now, this incident took place when terrorists targeted 2 army vehicles along the Poonch-Rajouri axis. The terrorists now seem to have melted away either in the caves or are now hiding with their weapons in plain sight. Either ways, there are wide gaps in the security grid, and that, in fact, is a major reason for these repeated targeting of the Indian forces. Now, the big question everyone is asking is China and Pakistan operating together to weaken India at the LAC?
Four soldiers of the Indian Army shot dead by terrorists as they rushed towards an encounter site in Jammu and Kashmir. An encounter in the upper reaches of the Rajouri sector near Thana Mandi. Sources tell India Today this wasn't an ordinary ambush. As the army responded to the initial contact with terrorists, a puppet front of Pakistan's banned terrorist organization, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, called the PAFF, took responsibility for the attack on security forces, releasing what appears to be body camera footage.
There are reports that the location of the terrorists, has been traced. So that is why we can see that reinforcements are being sent, and in Indian Army personnel are moving towards the hilltop, and the priority is to locate the terrorists and neutralize them as soon as possible.
But the Rajouri incident is exploding beyond this battlefield in Thana Mandi. For starters, it's the 3rd incident in this sector this year, where the army has suffered multiple casualties. Less than a month ago, 5 army soldiers, including 2 young officers, were killed in action not far from this encounter site. Earlier, in May 2023, 5 Army Special Forces soldiers were killed in action fighting terrorists in the same general area. 2 years ago, 9 soldiers were killed in action in 2 separate encounters in the Rajouri sector. A clear pattern has emerged. Despite overall levels of terror coming down across Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370, the Poonch-Rajouri sector remain ablaze with high casualty incidents. And this is where the story escalates. Top defense sources have told India Today that both Pakistan and China have been actively cooperating to trigger a new wave of terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. The aim is to put pressure on the Indian Army to withdraw troops from the eastern Ladakh sector and redeploy forces south of Pir Panjal. The reason? In 2020, when the India-China standoff began in eastern Ladakh as part of the effort to bolster force levels at the friction points, including near Galwan, the army had pulled out units of the Rajouri-Poonch area and redeployed the uniform force in Ladakh. This created a major force gap in this area, providing a clear opportunity for the China-Pakistan nexus to reactivate terror south of Pir Panjal. While China gains from pressure on the Indian Army to possibly consider redeployment of troops from Ladakh to Poonch and Rajouri, the Pakistan Army gets to drum up emotions in view of elections on the corner in Pakistan. With Sunil Ji Bhatt in the Rajouri sector and Manjeet Singh Negi in Delhi. Bureau Report, India Today.